What up, gamers? This is David Plays X89, aka the Black Yoshi on Warzone, and we got a video for you guys today. We're gonna compare the best 3 Pro controllers for Warzone under $300. So if you follow me on Twitter, I commonly get into conversations about controllers, and a lot of people ask me, "Hey Dave, what's the best controller? What controller should I be using for Warzone?" So I'm gonna narrow it down to 3 today. And before we get any further, I'm gonna let you guys know that the opinions I'm giving are all honest opinions that are my own. I am not influenced by any company or anyone to direct you to make a purchase. So I'm gonna be, breaking the controllers down and letting you decide which is the best to purchase. And I'll give my opinion. Which one do I think is the best for Warzone? Okay, for the first controller that I'm going to recommend for the best 3 controllers in Warzone, if you're a console gamer, I'm going to recommend the DualSense Edge. You can get it at Amazon or Best Buy for $199, and it includes a lot. You get a carrying case, you get a braided cable, you get interchangeable thumbsticks, you get a cable lock, and you get 2 different styles of paddles. So now we explain what is included with the DualSense Edge. So now I'm going to explain the features for you and explain, how they work well with Warzone. So if you're a console gamer or at the casual level or higher, this is the controller for you, because you can play every FPS game and you can play, other games that are not FPS, like racing or platform or whatever. So this is the controller that can be the jack of all trades, as we're gonna call it. So it does everything a pro controller does, but it doesn't do it the best and it doesn't do it the worst. So it's the jack of all trades of pro controllers. So the face buttons, you don't get the mouse click face buttons, just standard Sony place buttons. You do get a pad here, and let's talk about the triggers. So these are not mouse click triggers, these are trigger stops. If you slide up here, you can release it and it has full travel. Now if you compare these to the Scuf and to the aim controller, they're a lot clickier and a lot faster, and can be the difference between winning and losing a gunfight in Warzone. So if you're a casual gamer and don't really care about the mouse kills, this is the controller for you. So now we're going to talk about the sticks, and these are just standard sticks. They're not Hall effects. They don't have a model that's Hall effect yet, but if you do get stick drift, you can release this module here by just taking the trim off. You can see at the Sony website they're $19.99 each. So instead of having to replace the entire controller if it has stick drift, you could just pop one of these out, pop a new one in, and stick drift is gone. So there's no paying $200, every time you get stick drift or higher. So that's a massive plus for console gamers, and even if you want to use it on PC. So the paddle placement is decent here. It's not the best and it's not the worst, but these connect with a magnet. So over time, I've used these for more than 6 months, and I noticed that the magnet wears out. Once the magnet wears out, the paddle will lay flush to the body and you won't be able to use it. But the good thing about the DualSense Edge is if you go to Amazon and you hit up Extreme Rate, you're able to get replacement parts for this. And I know if you buy it at Best Buy, I believe they have a 2-year warranty in store. So there's so many options. This is the easiest controller, the most accessible controller you can possibly get. So that's why I would recommend it for the above average casual gamer. And you could pick these one up locally, I believe at Best Buy, GameStop. So my summary of this, it is the jack of all trades of pro controllers. And one of the best hidden features about it, once you connect it to a PS5, you have access of remapping the controller. You can change the dead zones. You can change how much pressure you need to activate the triggers, and you could use a custom response curves. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube that would tell you what's the best custom response curve for Warzone. And you know, regardless of what game you play, it's a great controller. So the next controller on our list is the aim controller. And if you get a pre-designed one, let's say if you want navy blue or any color, it comes out to $262 with shipping, I believe. Yeah, $262 with shipping. And they have, you know, a bunch of different designs. Let's see what they have for pre-designs. I'm gonna get it as cheap as possible. Let's look on their mat. So you got white, you got gray, you got purple, and these controllers look amazing. So let's see what you actually get with the pre-designed controllers. We'll click on this one, and we'll go to the Pro version. So you get unique design, interchangeable aim sticks, remappable back paddles, and smart triggers. And this comes stock on the controller. And it also does have snap plates. So these are magnetic plates, and they swap in and out. So I'll explain to you the features and stuff. You don't get mouse click face buttons, but these buttons they do have a little bit of play to them, and they do feel good. So now the best part of this is the triggers, and these are legit the best mouse click triggers in the industry. And I know in the first video when I reviewed it, I don't think you could actually hear them because my mic was set up terribly. I think I got it now, so you can see how clicky they sound. Really satisfying if you're into ASMR. This is the best sounding trigger in the industry, hands down. So the triggers feel amazing on this controller, but I did break them and they're not the most durablest, so just letting you guys know. So it does have the, I keep forgetting the name of this, it is the mouse pad. That's not the mouse pad, it's just the PlayStation pad. Okay, we're done now. So let's go to the paddles. It does come with 4 paddles which are interchangeable, so you can map any button you want. I believe the action buttons, I don't think you can map the triggers. So I usually have this to slide and this to jump. So this is the mechanism here, like the PlayStation DualSense Edge and the Scuf. You put it in this position, controller goes all the way down. Well, I mean the trigger goes all the way down, not the controller. So this is full travel. So if you want to play racing games or platform or Resident Evil or, you know, whatever your heart desires, you don't have to have the fast mouse click triggers. And you can go right back to your mouse click triggers. So that's, you know, a major win. I do wish AIM redesigns them and makes them a little bit more durable. So let's see what else. The paddles are clicky too. No other controller has that. Listen how the sound of the paddles. You get mouse click paddles. They sound awesome and they feel awesome. And I do like the paddles, but keep in mind they're made of plastic and they can break easily. Let's see what else. What are we missing? So I think I covered all the features on this. And this controller I would recommend to a dedicated Warzone player. If you're a dedicated hardcore FPS gamer, this is the most expensive controller on the list. It takes the longest to get because the other 2 controllers you can pick up locally or you can have shipped to you within a few days. This could take a couple weeks to get to you. I mean, maybe a week minimum, depending. I heard people getting them within a week. Some people getting them within 2 weeks. And you do have snap plates. You can replace the plates and change the design of the controller, which I did show in the video when I reviewed it. And if you want more of an in-depth detail, I'll put my video up when I did review the AIM controller. And this is the best dedicated Warzone controller if you're playing on PC and console. And it is, you know, fantastic controller, but the biggest problem with this is it's not the most durable one. If you drop it a few times, something's gonna break. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, if you made it through the video this far, we're at the final controller, which is the Envision Pro. But I did forget to mention that the sticks on the pre-designed ones for the aim controller are not Hall effect. It's the standard sticks. I don't recommend the Hall effects at this time. I don't think it's a massive advantage. Movement and aiming does feel smoother, but a lot of people have issues with them. I don't think I have issues with mine. Mine seem to be okay at the moment, but I really don't recommend them. If you want them, you know, add them for the other 50-60 bucks. So we're gonna go into my favorite controller for Warzone, and this is the Envision Pro. And you can see right here, it starts at $179.99. And you can pick this up locally at Best Buy. You can order it from Best Buy or Amazon, or, you know, straight from the Scuf website, which the shipping would take longer. But you could also use a discount code and knock the price down a bit. And you have different options to choose from, different colors, different face plates. You know, if you want a Scumpy one or an Iceman Isaac, you know, they can do that. So you do get these G keys, which you can, you know, bind them to mute your music, mute your Discord, and whatever. But, you know, they don't give you a competitive advantage, so we're not going to focus on features like that because, you know, they make no sense to us. What it does include is a wireless dongle, which I don't use. This thing, so if you want to have a C2C, if you put this here, I just use C to A. You do get 2 extra thumbsticks. You do get this. You could remove the side buttons if you want, or you can keep the side buttons. It's entirely up to you. And let's talk about the features of this controller. So it does have something like mouse click triggers, and you could hear them. They do sound good, but not as good as the aim. And you do have a mechanism here, which is hard to see, but it's a little slider here. So I can't see it myself, so once you hit the slider, you have full travel here. So the system on this is better than the aim, but the clicky sound on the aim feels a lot better, sounds a lot better, but I have never broke these. These are the most durable is triggers with the best performance. And unlike the aim, you get these tactile mouse clicky face buttons. Really satisfying. All for $179. You can't use that. You can't use it on console. And the D-pad is clicky too. I mean, that is awesome. These do not have options for Hall effect sticks. Good thing I remembered this time. You do not get a touchpad. So there's no touchpad or mouse pad or whatever the hell the PlayStation has. You do get 4 paddles on the back. I just use the bottom ones. They're not clicky and they're not in a better placement than the aim controllers. So it's very easy to do slide canceling and drop shots for Warzone with the aim controller. I mean, this does the job too, does the job well, but not as good as the aim controller. And you do have to use IQ with it. It is tethered to IQ. You can't use DS4 or pass through to anything else at the moment. But I do love this controller. It is the best price, and this is what feels best to me. And if you're a dedicated PC gamer, no console, and if you stream on a single PC, no dual PC setup, you can use these G keys to help you with stuff with your stream, to mute Discord, mute game chat. You can, you know, bind these to whatever you want. And when this controller launched, I did purchase it day one and did a video, and there was so many bugs and problems with IQ. While I was playing, the buttons will unmap. It had so many problems at the start, but after a bunch of firmware fixes, this controller is awesome at the moment. So this is the IQ software. I hope you can see it clearly. And you have different options for lighting effects. So if you want to change the colors and stuff, you can go ahead and do that. But I'm not going to get into all the pretty colors you can change because this doesn't give you a competitive advantage in Warzone or in gaming. So this is the mapping. And if I go to, you have preset mappings here. And if you go to custom, I don't use any macros or even have the side buttons set up. You can see these are the side buttons. And a lot of people use these for ping or maybe to use game chat in Warzone. But I don't recommend you use macros like anti-recoil or rapid fire because that is cheating. So, stick to the legit stuff if you're going to use this controller. Now, these are the settings I have for my sticks. On my left and right stick, I'm using linear for the response curve, and I have my dead zones to 0. So this is an updated settings video. Darn, my mouth is so dry. So this is what I have for triggers. I have my trigger dead zones at 7.7 and linear, and I have vibration off. So you could take advantage of these, and they can give you a competitive advantage, because you could just keep on spamming these and just ping your opponent. So now I'm going to compare all the grips from all three controllers. And to let you know, for the value, you get the most with this controller. And it's my recommendation for a dedicated PC gamer who's into hardcore Warzone. I mean, the aim controller is amazing, but this beats the price of it. It's more accessible. And if you buy it in-store with Best Buy, I do believe you can add a 2-year warranty. And I'm not going to get into warranties on which controller has the best warranty, because basically it's nothing to do with a competitive advantage. In this video, what we're going to stick with would give you the most competitive advantage. And I know price matters a lot to you guys. So this is my pick for the best. I'm going to go with aim for number 2. And the PlayStation DualSense Edge for number 3. Now, before I end the video, I forgot to mention grips. And grips are very important, so I'm going to do each controller at a time. Now, this really doesn't have a grip. It's kind of like a grip, but it is the worst out of all three of them, you can see. I'm not really a fan of it. Doesn't feel like a grip to me, but it's some sort of grip. I mean, the aim controller's grip is nice. It's kind of smooth. I do like the grip on the aim controller. I don't know if the grip's going to be a deal breaker, but the edge grip feels a lot firmer, and I kind of prefer the edge grip over the aim controller. So I will put links to purchase these products in the video, and I will include the reviews that I've done on each controller. I've never reviewed the DualSense Edge, but I mean, I pretty much, gave you the gist of it in the video. So thank you guys for watching. Drop me a sub on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, and we are starting to stream now on Twitch, so I'll leave my Twitch in the description. We're going to be doing a lot of Warzone. I mean, I might get into other games later, but I appreciate it, guys.